Hi guys, super quick video. It is currently about 20 to 1 in the morning on Wednesday. Technically it's Wednesday, it's Thursday now, but I'm counting it as my Wednesday the 22nd video. I just got home from D&D. It was a flippin' amazing session, a lot of character backstory, and like it's only a quarter of the backstory that I've written, but it's kind of the foundation for my character as Tisa, and some really interesting stuff went down. Like there's a lot of things that I wouldn't have thought were part of her backstory that totally work and are freakishly amazing. Yeah, there was I spent a lot of time with my character entirely in shock, because fundamentally some stuff has changed with her backstory, in an amazing, scary, beautiful way. Anyone who's very into Dragon Heist and the history and lore of Dragon Heist and Waterdeep and all of that jazz, in terms of stuff. So minor spoilers for anyone who is playing Dragon Heist or is very really into the Waterdeep official lore. My character is currently semi-dating Lord Rainier. That's been going on for a while. But she's just found out she's related to the Silverhand, as in her niece. That's freaking her out quite a lot. So Tisa, who by nature has a semi-aversion to deities, has just found out that she's kind of the great-granddaughter of the current deity of magic, sort of. I spent a reasonable amount of the session stunned because we were taking on Mind Devourers, and Tisa's very wise but not necessarily very book smart, aka intelligence of 10. So intelligence saving throws are not the easiest thing in the world for her. And then there was also a lot of time being emotionally stunned because some of her memories had been messed with by the ghost of her grandmother possessing people and altering her memory, and like the amazing madness, wonderfulness, and I'm freaked out by the happy magic that is D&D. Like those sort of character moments are what kind of make me love D&D so much. My character spent a lot of time crying on the floor, vomiting in anxiety, forming sentences in less than one word in the reaction to the fact that she is part deity, part drow, and part noble, which are things that she never considered to be options, and she had a family who cared about her, which is again something she never considered. She knew gods existed, but was under the strong impression that they didn't care. Like they existed, but they just didn't care about people on the ground floor, as it were. And she found out that she's partially related to a god, so she didn't care who her parents were and assumed that they didn't care for her, and she was just dumped on the steps of a church, and her parents should have just done, some sort of protection or something so that she wouldn't be born into such a cruel world. It turns out they loved her and wanted to protect her, but they're dead. And the ghost of her grandmother's been protecting her this whole time. What family cares? What? And also drow, which was a really good way of doing it with my. So I wrote out my backstory, and the DM found some perfect matches with some actual existing history of drow lore and stuff. And it worked really, really well for the character backstory that I had written out. And drow's kind of in the same way that I don't generally as a D&D person, I don't really care about the difference between fiends and demons, or demons and fiends and demons, or demons and fiends and all of those sort of things. Because, compelling story, it doesn't really make that much of a difference unless you're doing very specific things. And drows are one of those things. I've never played a drow character. And it's not because I'm not interested in the lore, I've never really got into the lore that much, so it's kind of like a lore blind spot for me. I'm sure it's very interesting, but again, it's just a lore blind spot. So the fact that Tisa never really thought, or the fact that I never really thought about drows as a thing, means that Tisa, by nature, never really thought about drows as a thing. So realizing that her entire memory had a filter over it, where she thought that she was in a racist elven city. And it turns out it was not racist in Elvic, it was racist in Drow. What? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that she's dealing with at the moment. We're in the middle of combat in game. We had to end the session right in the middle of a wave of combat back because we pissed off Xanathar. Seriously. Whatever, whoopsie. So hopefully we'll survive that and be able to carry on with the backstory. And apparently Tisa's also got a destiny, which, like, that's also something that she has naturally got in version 2, but we'll see how she adjusts to that concept. There's a lot of psychological digestion going on at the moment, which is really fun. It's really fun to play a character who is kind of cynical to the point that she kind of lives in her own little box of reality where, you know, people die, they don't get back up because she's never been in a situation where you can afford a resurrection spell. You know, it's something that heroes and douchebags have, but, you know, people who are actually living on the streets just don't. And similarly, gods don't care about people on the ground floor. Like, people with magic can shove it because in order to be trained in magic or, like, have real schooling in magic, you've got to have money. And that's something she's never really had. So that she has a whole, like, and the idea that, like, if you're going to help people, you want a reward. You want the grandeur and the feeling of empowerment. As far as I know, there's not been anything specific on that in her backstory. I haven't written anything specific on that in her backstory, but like there was a lot of praising of the clerics and the paladins of her deity that she was brought up with, which was a horrible racist deity who turns out was evil. Who knew? But obviously she had a filter of it, so she didn't know. So like her whole thought process on what heroes are, people who do good deeds and let people know about it, after something more than just the good deeds, which is why very early in one of the sessions she healed someone who was unconscious, but then hid underneath the body to hide the fact that she'd healed them, because she knew that if she let people know that she could heal people and took credit for it, then she'd become one of those dicks. So it's very interesting now when we're level 4 now. We're still baby players, but we're developing to see such a very sharp turn of characters. And this is the sort of D&D stories that I love. It's the sort of thing I find really, really compelling, and I love my DM for really embracing character backstories and character creations and weaving it into the pre-existing lore. And again, I created my story completely and utterly on my own principles, with my own kind of story that I wanted to tell. And by sheer luck, it fits in so well into the D&D lore. But it's kind of mad. And I went in completely blind into a story that I didn't really know, and it worked really, really well. I wanted to have a character with silver hair, because I think that's a really cool thing that you can do in D&D where you're like, she's alive, she has silver hair, whatever. So I wanted to create a character who didn't look like any of my other characters in my brain. So I created this character with silver hair, and I was like, what I wanted to create was a redhead with silver streaks, which I thought was just a really cool idea, really cool look. So I was like, why would she have that? So I said she originally had silver hair, but she dyes it red. And then I was like, I got halfway, I designed a story and I've written this character, and I was like, she's the third character I have with red hair. Amelie is red hair, but she's kind of gingery, like coppery, natural sort of tin-coloured red hair. And Callista is red-headed, but she's naturally like a deep, rich auburn. She's almost like demonic-y red, like plum-coloured red, like a really like blood red. And it wasn't until I was halfway through writing these and I was like, she's got red hair as well. But the thing with her is she's naturally silvered hair. So I think we may be at the point in the story where she's gonna let the silver come back in. What? I don't know. There's still a lot of stuff in her backstory involving the time when she had silver hair, so she may let the silver come back in. or she may still be a bit of a scaredy cat and continue dyeing it red. And she also kind of likes the red. She likes the personality that she's created with the red hair. But we shall see. We'll see how the character develops. It's really exciting. Yeah, and what was interesting was one of the other characters was like, Moonstone, that's a Moonstone thing, because she has this moonlit sword which she found in the crypts, and it turns out it was a big sign of her history, and it was her mother's sword, and her mother lost it, but then it was kind of gifted to her by her grandma via a ghost thing. Really cool backstory, kind of hard to explain, but yeah, she was guided to the sword, which is her inheritance. But it's a moon-kissed sword, and it lights up with the moonlight, which is lovely, and it's a nice thematic thing. And then as part of her backstory, which again I can't really talk about in case any of my friends see this, she also gets a moonstone necklace, haha, which I wear for D&D, a style similar to the one in my brain, which has nothing to do with that. It's to do with the fact that her hair was silver and she wanted something to match it, or in remembrance of it. So there was a point where the other player was like, Moonstone necklace, it's important. I'm like, nothing to do with that, but so cool. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that, yeah, it's filling in. The character was built in such a way as to have lots of things that, out of the history of the context, seem really bizarre. Like, she's really good at cleaning, and she's good at prayers, and she's good at, like, dealing with the dead. But she's also a street urchin and a con woman and all of this other stuff, which doesn't really make sense until you know. And there's also things like, I don't know whether or not the other players picked up on it, but she speaks Orcish, which seems a bit odd, but makes sense in context. She wears her Moonstone necklace, which makes sense within context. She has a weird feeling towards the particularly high level nobility, that it's not too prevalent, but it does influence her decisions a little bit. And she also is slightly claustrophobic. Things that will come into play, possibly. Who knows? It's all exciting. But then again, I'm rolling with the D&D high right now. It is, as I said, it's now 10 to 1 in the morning. I don't have to get up early tomorrow. I'm on a late shift, but I want to get up. I want to be productive. I need to write a list of things to do so that I have a reason to get up in the morning, which sounds really depressed, but I could literally just lie in bed and watch Lucifer and or go back to sleep. This morning I laid in a little bit, well, I say a little bit, a lot later than intended. So I want to get up tomorrow morning at a reasonable hour, hopefully between 8 and 9 a.m, and do stuff. So I'm going to write a list tonight of things that I could do, and hopefully do them in the morning. But there we go, there's a bit of a life update. I have hiccups, mother fudge. I've still got, I think I'm like 2 videos behind. I skipped a couple of days, but I have done a mass upload. So hopefully we'll get caught up soon. I did a dance video today, but I'm not very pleased with it. It's on my web camera. It's not great. It's just me dancing around the sitting room. But I don't know. We'll see whether or not I put it online. It doesn't help that I loaned my camera to my sister, so I can't really take my camera out and about so much. But maybe I'll film something on my phone. I never use my phone for pictures videos, so I don't know how to make it good. But I do suspect the video quality on my phone is better than this webcam. Anywho, thank you for watching. Feel free to comment. I'm sorry the quality is very low at the moment. Hopefully it'll get back into track soon. And yeah, see you guys soon. Bye for now.